These two major fantasy franchises have a few things in common. Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Game of Thrones actors you forgot were in Harry Potter. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at performers from Game of Thrones who also appeared in the Harry Potter movies. Number 10. Ralf Ineson. With fairly minor roles in both Harry Potter and Game of Thrones, it's possible that you don't actually remember this actor from either property.
Who are you?
Dagmar, the First Maker.
In Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince and the Deathly Hallows Parts 1 and 2, Ralf Ineson plays Amicus Carrow, a cruel Death Eater who ends up with a teaching position at Hogwarts in the final installments of the story. In Westeros, Ineson portrays Dagmar Cleftjaw of House Greyjoy, who betrays Theon in the second season. There was no happy ending for this character, who was ultimately flayed by Ramsay Bolton and his men.
Let's go home.
Number 9. David Bradley. In Game of Thrones, Bradley plays the villainous and eventually ill-fated Walder Frey, the man responsible for the Red Wedding. He of course got his comeuppance when Arya Stark exacted her revenge in the best way she knew how, killing him in the same way her mother was killed.
I want you to know that the last thing you're ever going to see is a Stark smiling down at you as you die.
In the wizarding world of Harry Potter, the actor plays the slightly less despicable, though still pretty detestable Argus Filch, the Hogwarts caretaker forever foiling Harry's plans to sneak around the castle at night.
I'll kill you.
I'll kill you! Argus!
It is hard to miss this one, because the two characters look almost identical.
Students in the corridor!
They are supposed to be out of bed, you blithering idiot.
Oh. Sorry, Mom.
Number 8. Ian White. While some of the entries on today's list are blatantly obvious once you remember them, this entry, not so much. Ian White is at least reasonably recognizable to Game of Thrones fans for portraying Wun the Giant, as well as a large White Walker and even the Mountain for a season.
I want them dead, every one.
Killing them isn't the problem.
But who did he play in Harry Potter? We'll forgive you if you don't remember, because his face never actually appears on screen. He has an uncredited role in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, playing the body of the giantesque Madame Maxime, more recognizably played by Frances de la Tour.
Blimey, that's one big one.
Number 7. Edward Tudor Pole. In the Season 2 episode of Game of Thrones titled The Ghost of Harrenhal, actor and ex-Crystal Maze presenter Ed Tudor Pole appears as an unnamed protester.
Brother fornicates with sister in the bed of kings. Are we surprised when the fruit of their incest is rotten?
And in Harry Potter, well, this is another one we'd have to excuse you for not quite remembering. That's because Tudor Pole actually only appears in a deleted scene, but it is quite a famous deleted scene, and it's included on extended versions of the second Harry Potter movie.
Pure wizard blood is kind of less everywhere, I'm afraid.
Not with me.
He plays Mr. Borgin, owner of the Nocturne Alley shop Borgin and Birks, in a scene which was originally filmed for The Chamber of Secrets, where Lucius Malfoy and Draco pay a visit to his questionable establishment.
Looking for something?
No, I'm just in the wrong place. Sorry.
Number 6. Natalia Tena. One of the more memorable faces on our list belongs to this actress, who had relatively prominent parts in both franchises.
Give me my life, my lord, and I'm yours.
In Game of Thrones, she plays Osha, a wildling girl who travels with Rickon Stark, and in the end is killed by Ramsay Bolton after she makes an attempt on his life.
And how she did it.
Her character in Harry Potter doesn't have a much happier ending either. She portrays Nymphadora Tonks, an aura who Harry meets in the Order of the Phoenix and who goes on to form a romantic relationship with Remus Lupin. Sadly, neither of them survived the Battle of Hogwarts. Number 5. Freddie Stroma. Freddie Stroma plays Dickon Tully in Season 6 of Game of Thrones, but it's no surprise if you remember another actor in the role.
Pretty tasty. Is it from today's hunt?
Well, no, we haven't been able to cure that one yet.
That's because Stroma was actually replaced in between seasons with Tom Hopper playing Samwell's brother in Season 7, before he met his untimely end.
Dracarys.
Freddie gets a little more screen time in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince though, where he plays Cormac McLaggen and acts as a foil for Ron by vying for Hermione's attention.
Think you could introduce me to your friend Granger? Wouldn't mind getting on a first-name basis, know what I mean?
Number 4. Bronson Webb. One of the first figures we see in the opening episode of Game of Thrones is Will, a member of the Night's Watch who winds up executed by Ned Stark for being a deserter.
If you can get word to my family, tell them I'm no coward. Tell them I'm sorry.
In fact, his execution is a pivotal moment in the series premiere. His role in Harry Potter is even more brief, however, where he plays a friend to Draco Malfoy in The Prisoner of Azkaban. His character goes by Pike, and we don't get to see much of him at all. All we know is that he's a Slytherin, and he's always hanging around Draco. Number 3. Michelle Fairley. One of the most tragic figures in Game of Thrones has to be Catelyn Stark, the family matriarch who is brutally murdered in Season 3 as part of the iconic Red Wedding. She's one of the show's most prominent figures until that point, but in comparison, her role in Harry Potter was a blink and you'll miss it moment.
Hermione, tea's ready, darling.
Appearing in The Deathly Hallows Part 1, she plays Hermione's mother in the gut-wrenching scene where Hermione puts a powerful memory charm on her own parents to make them forget her.
Obliviate.
Number 2. Julian Glover. Another actor who had a recurring role on Game of Thrones, Julian Glover played Grand Maester Pycelle for 6 seasons of the show, regularly showing up as this somewhat doddering and aging figure whose ability to do his job seems to have lessened over the years.
This belongs to you now. Should we begin?
And it's true you don't see his face in any of the Harry Potter movies, but you'll potentially recognize his voice if you're a stone-cold superfan, that is.
But have you seen it?
I never saw any part of the castle, but the box in which Hagrid kept me.
Glover actually voices the famed Forbidden Forest Acromantula, aka the giant spider Aragog in the Chamber of Secrets.
But I cannot deny them fresh meat when it wanders so willingly into our midst. Goodbye.
Number 1. Ciaran Hinds. It was Irish actor Ciaran Hinds behind Mance Rayder, otherwise known as the King Beyond the Wall or the leader of the Free Folk.
So, you're Ned Stark's bastard. Thank you for the gift, Lord of Bones. You can leave us.
He held the role in Seasons 3, 4 and 5 of the show, proving an influential figure as winter continually threatened to come. But he undergoes a transformation to make him almost unrecognizable in Harry Potter, where, in The Deathly Hallows Part 2, he bags the brief but significant role of Dumbledore's brother, Aberforth.
The job my brother's given you, it's a suicide mission. Do yourself a favor, boy, go home. Live a little longer.
Showcasing the actor's obvious versatility, Aberforth helps Harry and his friends sneak into Hogwarts for the final battle against he who should not be named. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo UK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.